we're going to be moving on to our final match here. We got a pretty interesting looking one here. This pretty classic matchup of Checker versus I don't know, Snurf. Is that how you say it? SGNurf?
Yeah, Snurf.
Signurf?
G silent.
Snurf?
G is silent.
Yeah.
Snurf. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, we've seen this matchup a lot. Checker, often known as the Silver Surfer, because no matter what happens, he always ends up in silver.
Yep, so far, that might be tested this season, but I think actually with the bigger division, he might survive one more. It would not shock me. He tends to get better as the season goes on, too, because he's actually, been found time to play.
All right, and I think Snurf's been in silver previously as well. I think I remember seeing this matchup previously.
Yeah, so Nerf was in Bronze Season 1, Silver Season 2, but then and Season 3, and in Season 4 dropped back down, actually.
Okay.
So they've bounced a little bit. This Silver is the highest they've ever been. They've been in Bronze and Silver each season. So just pinballing back and forth, trying to make it stick this time.
All right, anyway, we're going to go through picks and bans. First ban out of Checker. Any guesses as to what he banned?
I've got a pretty
Checker
strong
banning
guess.
his children? What?
As usual, Checker declined the ban.
Yes, yeah, that's pretty standard for him, absolutely. As he always likes to joke, they're all my children, I love them all equally.
Yep.
I don't believe that for a second, but I will give him credit for selling it with never banning anything.
All right, and next up, we've got Snurf. None of these venues are his children, so he is banning Modern.
He's childless, so he will ruthlessly ban anything that gets on his bad side.
All right. Anyway, unfortunately, Checker can't elect to not pick any maps or venues, whatever you want to call them. So you must select pub as the doubled map.
Okay, so there's not really much to say about this draft, but I do want to caveat that with the fact that Checker doesn't pick maps based on anything but the fact that he hasn't played it yet this SCL.
All right. I mean, I think we should have seen a Tayan pick then, but anyway.
Hopefully.
Pick out of Snurf, a very excellent one, is once again more double courtyard. Woo!
More double courtyard. That's really surprising because Nerf has a very bad overall competitive record in courtyard. 21% win rate last season as Spy, 38 as Sniper. Oof. That's pretty rough, and he played 27 courtyard games total, so that's a pretty big sample size. But the thing is, it doesn't matter if you're good or bad at it. Everyone just sort of feels comfortable anyway.
All right, and then Checker keeping the 3 of 5 party rolling with High Rise.
So it's just a theme night for Checker then?
Yep.
Yeah. And that actually plays right into Nerf. He's actually pretty decent at High Rise compared to a lot of the other new art venues.
All right, and then the final pick out of Nerf will be Balcony.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting and quick. If you were thinking about going to get a drink before this last match, don't. By the time you come back, it might be over already.
Yep. All right.
Okay, so before we jump in, just looking at this draft, this is a draft that actually screams Checker could win. Like any 3 of 5 pub is historically a map that snipers struggle on because AIs can technically mission finish. You have to camp float. You have to look at so many different aspects to really make that correct shot. And so if Snurf's not feeling it, then Checker could spill out massive spy wins. Equally, any 3 of 5 high rise, same story, maybe a little bit more easier for the sniper. And then you've got Balcony, which is, the coin flip map, as some people put it. So wow. Okay, let's do it. I'm loving this already. Checker as Pearls for our first game of the night. Spying it up. The dev of the game. Counting us down. 3, 2, 1. Playing it. I had the honor of finally playing my overdue birthday games with Checker recently, Warning Track. And I was pleasantly surprised that his spy is feisty. Very impressed.
Yeah, feisty is absolutely the right word for it. It's a little messy, for sure. A lot of etiquette breaks, but he's gotten much better at mission progress. He used to have a lot of trouble with pacing and things like that. That's not normally the problem anymore. The high-level stuff, and his bugs in particular, I think you'll agree, very strong.
Yeah, well, bugs definitely are strong, but surprising to see the missions that have been cut here on any 3 of 5 by Checker. And I mean, I don't want to say this is true, but it's very possible that Checker has just not selected missions to cut here, because Contact's off the table, and so is Purloin.
The missions are all his
Contact.
children. He can't.
You
he
must
can't
disown 2 of your children now, and he just panics and.
Yeah, and that means that you guarantee that if Checker wins this, it's a silent game. You have bug enabled, you have swap enabled, you have seduce and fingerprints. So I'm not entirely sure how Checker will do this. I wouldn't be surprised if we get halfway through the game, Checker joins the conversation with a double agent and then realizes that Contact is turned off and he can't do it. Instead, we go for the bug, and I actually think that was unseen, maybe? The camera... Oh, never mind. No. It was the camera angle. I was concerned.
If your missions are children, then Contact is the captain of both the chess club and the football team who gets straight A's. It's okay to like that one a little bit more than the others. I think you got to leave that on no matter what.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not a mission that I would be cutting. In most circumstances, it would be a very big mind game play.
It seems like if Snurf did not see the bug itself, that path was pretty telling. Like he was walking like he was going to go for the edge of the pad, and then he turns to go to the statue, which is,
Yeah, the problem with having a slow character is that when you make a beeline for the ambassador, they can kind of see you coming quite a ways away.
Definitely sets up the intention there, and something that Snurf very comfortable with the shots. So 1-0 in this series, now heading to the spy side themselves, going to be playing Mr. A here, Walt, Pencil Tash. And this time, missions do look like they have been selected here. Swap turned off, Purloin turned off, opting in for Bug and Fingerprint as the 2 missions that normally would get cut, if any, out of the 5 here in this set. We'll have to see how Snurf decides to play it. Counting us down, 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Now maybe Checker picked Pub because he has a hard time not purloining, and it's a little easier on a bar map. I was joking around in the Discord the other day that he has purloined 51% of the time when purloin is turned on in SCL. That more often than not, he purloins when it's an option.
Yeah, no, so it could be restricting himself just a little bit.
Just a little bit. It's a little bit of self-binding. It's like not keeping any bad food in the house when you're on a diet. I kind of respect it, actually.
Yeah, that's fair. Snurf heading over to the bar here to pick up a drink. Purloin turned off, though. This is a very innocent move. Seduction target has bounced around a couple times. We've tried to get our flirt, but unsuccessfully. So we are kind of just burning down the timer a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not a spy. I'm just thirsty.
Very strange path here from Snurf. Long way around. The redirect could be considered somewhat okay, but I don't think these are the kind of things that Checker shoot for regardless.
No, I think it's lucky for him that Irish came in there, because he was going to have to leave at the correct time with that idol there, and that's a little tricky for a lot of people still. And even though Checker doesn't normally catch for those sorts of things, it was a huge factor in his match against you on consecutive spy games. We talked about it a lot too. So if ever he were going to be up on that and aware of it, it would have been this match on Pub out front.
Definitely possible. Snurf with 27% on the flirt here from across the conversation. Thankfully, the green test helping us out a bit. I'm looking at the board, and it doesn't feel like much has been done by the AIs. We have an inspect, I believe, from Salmon. We have a fingerprint from Alice. So really, the AIs aren't helping us as far as Snurf is concerned, and he's continuing to play this game of idle by heading back to the bar when Purloin turned off so that we can come back and get another flirt here.
Yeah, bored in more ways than one. This is a lame party.
There was a fingerprint on the drink that he got, so there was a reason to go to the bar.
There we go. Nice.
So fingerprint there. Surprised that we don't highlight for that, but sometimes drink fingerprints are the hardest. Alice did want the briefcase, but got redirected off it, which is probably a welcome sign for Checker, really. 2 fingerprints would have been very AI-like, very spy-like even. Now with a minute left on the clock. Time is burning here for Snurf. Stepping into the conversation with the double agent. Alice is V-lining over there as well, but it's full, so she has to go out. Contact will eliminate her. 2-person conversation with no STA in it, so I think Salmon's fairly clean here as well.
That's costly. That's a big trade.
No, never mind. Okay, so Checker sees Salmon in the conversation after Rocker, the STA, steps in. And I
It's
think,
not just that. He was
that.
sipping when it went off. He was sipping his drink right out front while glowing when the banana bread happened and still gets shot for it.
Yeah, so that's just eyes dart around the screen in different ways. And unfortunately for Checker, his eyes didn't rest on salmon at the time of no SDA in conversation.
Yeah. Unfortunately, had to shoot one of his children, and it's the wrong one.
So, Snurf, with that spy win, heads up 2-0 in this series. Checker, this time turning missions off, it seems. Maybe. We'll find out in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Swap, that's a given here on pub any 3 or 5, but inspect, that's an odd one. We attempt a bug, it doesn't connect in the time of chaos, but thankfully, neither does a highlight, which means that I think it's non-consequential.
Yeah, he bugs a lot. I mentioned 51% purloin rate. Obviously, his top mission is contact, about 68%. But right behind purloin, bug, 43. He loves to bug and normally pretty good at it, so I'm not surprised he tried.
What about time ads? How often does Checker time ad? Because pub is not a map that you typically see time ads on. But he gets away with it.
I don't have data for you, unfortunately. It's my dream, though, when we get timeline access. That will happen, and it'll be very entertaining.
Big green flirt here for Checker. 51% onto his seduction target. Watching the rest of the party as he talks here. He has the delegate ready to go, I believe. Since Purloin this time is now active. And I assume he did select delegate when he was at the bar. He did. So, how will we play this is the question. Are we going to go early or late?
Yep. Well, we have no data. I'm actually just noticing now, Checker has never played Pub in SCL. And Pub is one of the older New Art maps, so even before we moved to all New Art in Season 4, it was available. So, kind of interesting. His first competitive Pub games.
First. All-time first here on SCL.
Yeah, and he's been around for a while.
Got to be tempted by this bug in conversation, but it isn't a very good position. Right out front, and there isn't any cover. So we hold off. Flirt up to 85%. The Purloin delegation timer, if not yet expired, will expire before anyone reaches the bar. Double agent, though, comes to us, so we can get the contact. It won't look that suspicious either, considering the fact that we haven't had to move anywhere. However, there is no other suspected double agent out in conversation right now, so lots of potential lowlights, and, you know, timing-wise isn't perfect.
And the moment passes. It still would have been 5 people in there with you, though. I think that's pretty good, given that you got a couple minutes left, and I'm not sure the party's giving you too much. I think I would have taken that there.
I mean, the party's not giving you too much, but you've also turned off Inspect, which is typically the mission that the party gives when you play any 3 or 5. So,
good point.
Unfortunately for Checker, maybe sealing his own fate just a little bit as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, you can't turn off Inspect and then hope to frame. Like, that would be totally counterintuitive. You're obviously planning on finishing here, unless a ton of fingerprints come out, improbably.
A flirt will come out. Oh, it won't. Seduction target leaves the conversation. Checker was playing very slowly there, perhaps afforded by our time ad earlier on in the game. Setting up for a path by the ambassador. We attempt to bug. It doesn't connect, a little bit too late. The hand was visible on camera, but again, it seems like it may have gone unnoticed. And this is actually the strength of Red Dress here, potentially one of the stronger walking bug candidates and not often talked about. I find that if I'm going to miss a walking bug from any character, Red Dress is one of them.
Yeah, she definitely has one of the better ones in the game, and I can tell that a lot of top spies already think of her as the secretly good spy, but I think the secret's actually been out for a while for people actually studying this, that she has less reputation than her skills would merit.
Contact, green test, 2 highlights for Rocker and Wheels, but none for Red Dress, the third assailant in this conversation. Now we step past the ambassador, get the bug. The path is all sorts of wrong, but behind a pillar, completely unnoticed there by Snurf, into the statue, but there is no mission here because we've turned off Inspect and we've turned off Swap. 22 seconds left on the clock. We could make it to that very
take so long to walk there. Such a long walk.
Overtime beeps will be imminent. Checker on the way, and we're hoping
to
whatever spy party gold exists, that our seduction target won't sunshine us. A bit of a missed entry. The seduce is complete. 5 seconds of overtime beeps coming, and I think it's going to be a wrong shot onto someone. And it is. Wheels gets shot as he leaves into the bar. Checker with a spy win here on Pub.
I was thinking, oh no, you go to statues, there's no inspects, then you have to run, you're in heels. Isn't there a sprint button? No, there's not. Makes it with a few seconds to spare. As you mentioned, misses the pad. One more chance to lose this game against all odds, but barely gets it under the win. Oh my goodness.
Now we've got a series on hand. Checker with the first point on the board and a spy win at that. Going to be heading on to the sniper in just a little bit to try and convert and equalize this series up against Snurf. We'll have to see if it's capable of doing so in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
20-some seconds.
I press Control N instead of start.
Right,
So I'm on to
back.
high rise.
All right.
All
Way
right.
ahead of us.
We'll
hop
am.
back.
I'm ready when you
I'm
are.
ready. All right, go for it.
All right, 3, 2, 1, playing it for realsies.
I was. It's a good thing we had at least a reasonably speeded character there, because there were 23 seconds when they put that statue down, and they had to walk the entire length of Pub and then back out again into the conversation, and it looked like it took them about 15 or 16 seconds.
It was definitely a long walk, for sure. sgnurf, over to the bar, picks up a flirt, 33% at range. And again, Bug is our mission that we've decided to enable here, turning off Purloin and turning off a swap, which seems to be the norm here on Pub any 3 of 5. So this visit to bar is purely just for flirtation reasons.
That's why I go to bars. Yeah. I'm not going to stop making that joke. It's going to happen once a week for the rest of the season. You've all been warned.
Appreciate your
Hopefully, this is news to your wife.
Hi, honey. Hi, sweetie. How you doing?
unlucky. sgnurf, very aggressive in conversation, sips early, leaves early. Etiquette breaks there as well. Picks up the briefcase and fingerprints it as we return it to the ambassador here, and a highlight comes out. So we'll have to see how Checker plays this, because we know that there's going to be a fingerprint at bar. Will be smudged by red dress here in just a moment. But sgnurf could head back to the bar and attempt the difficult, really try and remove that suspicion that he was ever there for fingerprints at all.
Yeah, very interesting that he picks up the highlight for it. It could be one of a few things. Checker's sort of spreading them around. He uses it for general suspicion rather than tracking one thing, which I actually think is a mistake on his part right now. I like it if you can do it. I think a lot of top snipers do it that way. But if you are constantly, let's say somewhat consistently forgetting things, or you need help tracking things, or sort of bouncing from mission to mission, I think you would inordinately benefit from using them to track a specific thing. So I think Checker should reconsider the highlight strategy for now.
Telling the developer of Spy Party how to play his game. Warning track, are you looking for that permaban?
Yes, I remember
Yes.
he was playing Piers when Piers was a little underpromoted, I think a long time ago and something or other, and he was a huge underdog, and he said, what should I pick? Just like general advice, and I said, pick something like Balcony. You know, you're an underdog, lean into the coin flip. And he chose Panop instead, and which is the old art library equivalent.
Which is Piers' best map, arguably.
Yeah,
in
and
the
that
game
too,
as well.
by the way. That too.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to tell you the score because I think you can probably guess how it went.
Yeah, no,
So-
that makes sense.
So yes, I feel a little qualified to offer a little bit of advice, just a little. I've cast a lot of his matches by now.
Yeah. Fingerprintable drink here, I believe, and we do fingerprint it. That's our second mission complete. Now looking for our final. Red dress, the double agent, currently not in conversation. Bug was enabled, and oh my goodness, sgnurf giving every reason to phantom a bug there as we walk towards the window pad with Till, the ambassador. 27 seconds remaining, and we're watching Red Dress for the contact here, wanting to join conversation with her. Will she enter? She does. Contact imminent from Snurf in just a second. Will Checker shoot for it is the question. White test, we're talking. A close animation, he shoots! And that is not what you want.
It was not a white.
2-0.
It was a red.
It was a red, of course. Yeah, no.
Oh my
Blimey.
god. That's so I'm actually a little sad. I say this almost every week. I'm sad that we're not going to find something out about the sniper's suspicion. I'll have to ask them maybe. My fear was that because of those generalized highlights, that by the end of the game, he won't even remember exactly what he was highlighting for, so he won't necessarily credit fingerprint as done, and therefore might not take the shot because he's going to see the shot go off and think, I have several highlights here who are in this conversation or busy or whatever. But instead, it's a red test, makes the decision a lot easier for him, and Checker has pulled even.
pulled even
in the end of red.
on his map pick of pub here. Heading on over to High Rise. Okay.
Courtyard.
That is how it... Yeah, well,
Did you
yes.
reverse the order maybe, or
I have
something else?
completely messed up my my spectation order. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's all right. Yeah, on to
That's fine.
Courtyard. Checker's going to be playing Seek, I think it is.
Yes.
And that's a bit of a gift because I felt like he was about to be presented with a pretty difficult decision, and then suddenly he was presented with a really, really easy one.
Definitely what you want there. I feel like the camera movement coming out from Checo kind of was telling that he was watching Walt with, every element of attention available. So potentially would have shot regardless of the cough, but it doesn't really matter. 2-2 on the scoreboard, heading into Courtyard here as Seek. Let's see what Checo has to play for in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
You may indeed be right about that, although one of the reasons he might have been staring at him is specifically because the ambassador was right next to him, which he might have had reason to do anyway, so very hard to say.
Normally when a spy takes a control of AI control and then paths weirdly towards something, it's because they want the bug or they want the seduce. No, Checo wants to pick up a highlight real early and inspect his statues here.
I have seen, by a 20-to-1 ratio, spies taking control awkwardly to avoid statues at the beginning of the game, relative to how often they do it to go to statues. That is almost unheard of. And when they do it, the 1 out of the 21, it's to white swap immediately. It's never to just inspect.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever seen someone immediately take control and do a hard turn on a dime to get inspects.
The statues are his children, okay? He wants to say hi to them.
So he's going to have to go to the other statues too now so they don't feel left out.
I mean,
No wonder he doesn't win more as spy. He's got so many children to worry about.
I mean, this is what makes him so unpredictable as spy.
Yes.
Track. You can never know what he
a
wants
busy
to
parent.
do. Yes, for sure. Inspect complete very early here on Courtyard, completely flipping the script. Ambassador steps right next to us. An in-conversation bug would feel tempting. We've got the double agent next to us. Oh, he goes for it. Oh, and the camera rotation's bad from Snurf. That was
He got it.
That is crazy. The contact comes through. 1 minute 50 on the clock, and all we have to do is inspect. Toby has given up offering a drink because Checker has ignored him. But it doesn't seem to matter because we are waiting for that flirt timer to find a spy win on Courtyard.
Clearly, he knows something we don't. You know, you said flipping the script. Most spies work with a script. Checker, it's more like improvisational jazz. And it works sometimes, as you can see.
It does.
Sometimes it produces the hell of a melody, and Checker is probably going to win this one.
For sure. I mean, Toby's offering to us, don't purloin Checker. Don't ignore Toby, Checker. Okay, he rejects any seducers. 10 seconds. Mission win imminent from Checker on Courtyard. Do I believe my eyes? I do. It's a win for Checker.
If you need a microcosm of a Checker game, I think the fact that he was about to win on missions while we were simultaneously terrified he would forget about Toby a second time or purloin for no reason, that sums it up right there. We're like, please, if you can just reject a drink between 2 and 6 seconds and hit a button to flirt, you will win this game. And we are not at all confident that that's what's going to happen, but it is. And Checker wins 3 in a row.
Last year, I casted a game with Crazy Kaylee here on the SCL broadcast of a teal game on Gallery from Checker, where he had he had bug completed, inspect, 1 inspect in pocket, 1 fingerprint in pocket, flirt at 68%, a microfilm in pocket.
Yep.
All he had to do was contact and complete one of those 5 partial missions, and he would have finished, and he timed out.
He had progress on 7 of 8 missions that game, I think it was, and he finished with 3 hard tells and 3 soft tells partially done or something like that. It was insane.
And he timed out. So there's precedent that the unknown will happen in a Checker game, and oh my goodness, fantastic. I mean, that bug, perfectly timed for the camera rotation. Snurf got a little bit confident that nothing was going to happen because it hadn't already. And as soon as you rotate the direction specifically he did from right to left, that's when that standing bug becomes invisible, especially on a character like Seek. And so Checker full well taking advantage of that, finds the spy win and finds a lead here in the series. If he can convert it on Courtyard, he would be up 4-2. Let's see what Snurf does here as Duke in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
You said it exactly right. He was confident that nothing had happened. There is a moment after the suspicious bug time where it ceases to be quite as suspicious. They kind of think, okay, we're clear. And in that moment, sometimes they just look away. And that's when Checker bugged, and that's when Checker won.
Flirt, and then leave. Snurf playing a little bit aggressive here. Steps into statues, a late sip. Interesting conversation in the Spy Party Discord, discord.gg/Spy Party, from Checker, that he believes that he has forgotten more etiquette from this game than anyone could ever know, due to the fact that, you know, to remember things about what he needs to code next would require he forgets anything that he has previously learnt through coding the game. And so it's always interesting to consider whether Checker will just someday become an etiquette god and really just shoot you for all the things that shouldn't be.
Yeah,
I think
fear the day when he's done programming this game.
Yeah, fear
Right.
the day, fear the dev. I think there's actually a limit to it. It still is a skill-based thing because when you design a system that has this many moving parts and has emergent behavior, it actually doesn't confer you a major advantage to have designed it because it will interact in unpredictable ways on the margins. So I think there's a degree to which obviously he can be much, much better at this, but there's still a skill element that means being the dev would not necessarily confer on him godlike status.
Interesting play here from Snurf. Already got the inspects earlier on, so we've stepped into the statues, I think, just to waste time, actually, and get that flirtation cooldown expired. But then stepping into a conversation with the double agent and immediately white testing a contact, that could just bring us up in suspicion levels exponentially. Contact comes through. Checker looks for lowlights. He looks for highlights. He's looking all across the table. Been quite patient, actually, with his rotation there before he makes any movements based on it. And oh, wow, we're actually lowlighting for assumed real as well.
So this is the risk reward. It was actually such a good banana bread in terms of hard lowlights that Checker, I think, correctly assumes, you know what, you need to get more out of this. So you got to take that risk in this case. That was a bacon-esque banana bread in how many people were in conversation.
Yeah, only 2 hard lowlights. Snurf, now, with the flirt completed, a very fortunate green test at this late stage of the game. Now we're looking for just one more mission. We've been to statues twice already, and potentially this is the play from Snurf. 3rd visit, that's insane. An AI would never do that.
Yep.
Maybe swap is on the table.
I think that's absolutely right. It's almost like he's been setting up for it. And there's a small chance he could think maybe I'm low lit for going back to statues. You know, that seems plausible. That's just something you might expect. Oh my goodness, guest list and Amber on one side, and he doesn't see nerf at the statues at all.
Oh, perfect. Great
This is
play
gonna
from
work.
Snurf. He checks the statue, sees it. Oh my goodness!
Oh!
Checker!
What a recovery!
Checker! No way!
Reaction time. Oh my goodness, the reflexes. So there's a moment during every mission win countdown. I'm sure you do this too. It hits maybe 3 or 4 seconds and you think they would have to notice it immediately and they would have to react immediately. So unless they do both, it's over at around 3 seconds. And he did both. He saw it and reacted immediately just in time.
I don't think I've ever made a shot like that in
No.
SCL history, like myself. That is an incredible shot coming out from Checker. Arguably, that is the kind of shot that you would only see in Diamond Division, maybe Plat, I don't know. Wow.
So quick. So quick. He had so little
4-2
time.
on the scoreboard, and Checker with an incredible shot to take the sniper win there. Such great mission planning from Snurf and timing as well that you just don't expect a game loss there. And now we have 2 more courtyard games to come. Holy moly, Checker as Irish looking to continue this hot, fiery lead in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Okay, so this 4 counts as momentum for sure, right?
I just don't know anything anymore. After that shot, I don't believe I know anything anymore.
I don't know anything. He must have seen that statue at 3.5 seconds on the mission win countdown clock, something like that. Nerf played so well. The guest list and the Amber were both on the other side. He was not seen at statues. He was just barely seen walking away. And by the way, the path was not definitely a statue path. He could have been coming around the side a little bit or something. I don't think Checker was positive, but he just knew he had to make a decision and he did not hesitate.
Contact comes out from Checker, a split into the statue, picks up the briefcase here, which is technically the correct play, I think. Yeah, it's hard to say. It doesn't really matter, I don't think, either.
I believe they usually go for the briefcase.
In that situation, the ambassador was close enough that they might not. But
Oh,
either
dear.
way,
Okay.
a bug on the way out, straight towards sniper cam, and Nerf going to be all over that.
Nerf did not have to react quite as quickly. In fact, I think they had almost 2.5 minutes to react to that bug, but they wisely decided to just go ahead and end it. And Checker not quite running away with this yet.
Not yet, but a sniper win here would convert and continue a lead into high-rise any 3 of 5, just to remind you. Nerf as general coming right up here on the courtyard in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And after such an incredible high-level shot from Checker, absolutely insane. Really don't want to understate how incredible that shot was. I am hungry to see more.
Yeah. He follows it up, of course, with a...
oh my, white purloin at the beginning of the game, and it's not been spotted yet. Checker highlighting for statues, low lighting cast, and still hasn't seen it. And Nerf instantly gulps the drink. And then we see Salmon taking a drink, and now maybe the guest list gets looked at. No, we haven't even looked at it yet. Now, surely. Nope. No, we're just looking at people with statues.
I think you're right. I think your read of the movement is dead on. I don't think he's seen it at all.
This is surely the moment now. Nope, because we're highlighting the statues.
Surely he must know. No, unfortunately, no.
Okay, so the worst case scenario here... No, not yet. The worst case scenario... Yeah, there you go. The worst case scenario would be that he doesn't see it for even longer than that, comes out of the statue, heads into a conversation, takes a drink, and goes, not for purloin. That would be...
Like my little anecdote earlier in the broadcast, we might see it come to life before our very eyes in heartbreaking fashion.
But based on these two lowlights, I would assume that that's not the case. Contact becomes fake due to the fact that Buns, the double agent, splits halfway through. That's a bit of a bummer for Nerf here. And the seduction target leaves us as well. Actually, that may be useful because I think we've already flirted in this conversation we have. So we can now head towards our seduction target, finish our flirt, and then we can try and look for that.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Why would you bug?
Why would you take control into statues right away? I don't know. This game doesn't make sense to me anymore.
Checker's a god. That's why I don't question his decisions.
Fair enough.
Unlike you, Warning Track.
I'm sacrilegious over here.
Oh dear.
Uh-oh.
Seduction target's giving me a bit of a hard time. But I joined the conversation with a double agent, so that's actually pretty useful for us.
That helps. I was actually thinking specifically the only way he loses this game is if he gets sunshined a bunch and has to chase brazenly, and that's what's happening so far.
Double agent has just left us. Flirt comes out. Seduction target is seduced. Now looking for one more mission. 53 seconds left on the clock. Buns the double agent, going to double animation cycle here at the statue. Then hopefully we'll join a conversation. And the good thing about Courtyard is there's really very little circumstances where there isn't an opportunity to contact the double agent.
Absolutely, like this. Left by the DA, but not at the altar. Finishes the flirt, not the contact, but they come right back anyway.
White contact.
And the end of red.
Second one of its kind. Toby behind us. It doesn't seem that Checker's going to take the shot. No. Knew that he was behind as soon as he noticed the purloin was gone and his low lights were minimal. And wasn't able to take a shot onto Nerf here. The series is tied for a piece here. Now we head over to the high rise, any 3 of 5, to see what Checker can pull out of his bag next.
Very exciting. And very good from Nerf to come right back and knot this up after losing 4 in a row, sometimes in improbable fashion. We've got a match.
Checker going to be playing Taft here, and looking at the missions he's chosen, Bug, Contact, Transfer, Microfilm, Seduce, and Fingerprint here is actually a setup popularized by Yeesh, I believe. Feels like AI's never finished Inspect, so wants to chuck a hardtail on like Transfer, which causes the sniper to have to rotate to the right side of the map to protect it. So I wonder if Checker's been watching a couple of Yeesh streams recently. Maybe not. Either way, as Taft here, let's count us down in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, even without the streams, he might have noticed the spirited conversation in the Discord the other day between Yeesh and Noob about this very issue, whether or not leaving microfilm on made any sense. And by the way, I'm just getting word in my ear. Yes, Checker has just noticed the purloin on the Courtyard game just now. So the lowlights are coming out the next day.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Early flirt here, 30% for Checker. It does mean that we're out of range of a triple flirt. With white test, we're going to require a green one later on in the match if we want to do that nice and swiftly.
Enjoy your ban, by the way, warning track.
Yeah, no, I'm counting them up. I'm reporting you after this game. Just
I'm
so
in
you
huge
know.
trouble. He may refuse to ban venues, but probably not players.
Oh dear.
Being very
That's
rude today.
Going in the bug reports for sure.
Bug, warning track is still playing. Please fix
Yeah.
immediately. I'm sorry, we love you. We're super impressed by that shot, but we have to. We tease because we love. It's so fun.
Yeah. Track teases because he loves you, apparently. I have more preservation of life.
Yes.
Fingerprint here?
Self-interested, yeah.
Yeah. Highlight comes through from Nerf. Another fingerprint available on the green bookshelf as well. We could finish our flirt, finish our fingerprint, and then contact as well. And seems like a tempting time to go for the contact. Only 2 people or 3 people out of conversation, but one of them does happen to be the suspected double agent here. And really on high rise, I feel like you're always looking for that contact where there's only one person out of conversation as a maximum.
I agree.
So
That's
how patient Checker
yeah.
is.
Unless you are desperate or you've gotten away with the bug and you're about to finish or something like that, some reason you're consciously willing to put up with the lowlights because you don't think it's going to matter, or maybe it's going to cover for something, for example, like the bug, you're trading the lowlights, fine. But other than that, if it's just a straightforward contact, you got 2 minutes left, 1 tops. I agree completely with your math.
No talk in a conversation with the double agent only. Heading over to the side statue here, is there a fingerprint available? There is, lovely. Checker is going to complete the mission here, and obviously with inspects turned off, there's no real suspicion that you could gain from going to statues, but if Nerf is all over fingerprints, then that is something he'll be watching for the rest of this game.
Yeah, he could say there are 8 statues here. Why did you pick that one, Mr. Taft?
Flirt completed as well. Really quick flirt, but we'll have to see if that's something that a Nerf will burn you for. Interrupting his seduction target, even forcing him out of the conversation. Another no talk here as well. But thankfully for us, red dress back to sniper. It's really difficult to see those talk animations anyway. Now we're waiting for Alice to step into conversation. Currently at that side statue on the other side of the map. Wanting to complete with a contact based on this stare down. There's also the chance of bugging though. It's something you have to keep in mind.
And it's you have to think about it more and more as this clock ticks down. You need the double agent to help you out here. Sometimes at this stage in the game, they might literally never go back into conversation. I've seen it happen, and look what she's doing.
Yeah, this is not going to be a possibility. We're not going to be able to get the contact off. There's no way unless she leaves first cycle and heads straight into a conversation. Has to be a bug or has to be a fake here if Checker wants to finish. And it looks like he's going for the bug, but look at this. Nerf already rotated around, already ready for it, and already on the shot. Takes that with confidence, predicting the movement in its entirety, and regains control of this series, pushing himself up 5-4.
I think you got to fake there at around 13 or 14 and hope for the best. It probably doesn't work, but it's more likely to work than that, where, again, you can see the bug path coming. That's the thing. You can't just do it, right? It's not a quick little path and force them into a tough shot. They can set up for it. That's the real problem there. So, again, momentum. Nerf wins 2, Checker wins 4, Nerf wins 3. Back and forth we go.
Back and forth we go, indeed. Here on High Rise as Queen, this time opting into the more I would say meta approach to High Rise. Bug, contact, inspect, seduce, and fingerprint enabled here for Nerf. Counting us down 3, 2, 1, playing it. We'll have to see exactly how Nerf wants to play this, because we've already seen from Checker that mission complete was the way. Nerf stepping into a statue early, side statue of that for a single or double inspect, may suggest that they are also looking for a mission completion as well.
Usually that's what you'd expect, yeah. And by the way, don't you think Checker at the end of that game wish they'd turned off microfilm and left on inspects? I think they would have gotten shot either way. It seems like they were really the only suspect, but your odds would have been better than they were with that bug.
Certainly. And look at this. I like this. A little shuffle to the right. Steps onto the next statue pad and inspects to complete it here. Sometimes it can be considered aggressive, sometimes considered AI-like. It really just depends on who you're playing against.
like I say, America's favorite game, top suspect or low light? You tell me.
Never low light.
No, never low light. Not in
That's
this
very,
case.
very non-pragmatic.
I
To
agree.
low light in that situation.
That'd be overthinking it.
Yeah.
I'm very worried for
Inspector
Checker now,
done
though.
really early, yeah, and with good right there, warning track. When Inspector done this early, now all you do is you play a timer game. You flirt, you contact, and sometimes snipers forget.
They do, and Checker in general, I feel like in these scenarios, is mostly going to want to hold his shot.
Path and etiquette from the conversation there, rough. And just I just worry for any of Checker's opponents that one day it's going to seep in the rules of the AI, and it's just going to come back almost in a flash.
Yep.
Wait, they're not meant to do that.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Requiem for a Dream, where the pupils dilate and all the information flashes on screen? Checker's going to have that kind of epiphany one day, and then we're all in big trouble. And he's probably going to come after me first, frankly. Fair's fair. I've got it coming.
Yeah. Contact is complete. We have a fingerprint as well. We're just looking to finish this game off now. Looking at that briefcase, actually, it seems maybe to finish off with a fingerprint rather than the flirt. Could be a good way to do it, actually, considering it's probably too early to finish flirt unless you're considering that someone's double greened it. But Nerf will enter the conversation with Taft here and look to complete via the seduction target. Waits an idle animation, sips, and then I assume we'll go for the flirt in just a second.
Taking his
Clock's
time.
ticking.
Yeah, this is actually significant because now you're getting near the timer flirt countdown too, where you're going to be cutting it a little close, especially if they leave.
Yeah, well, exactly. I always get worried when people leave it after an AI has taken a drink. That's when an AI will have the opportunity to choose to leave the conversation, and they tend to do it often.
Yes.
So
that white hurts very, very much. 61%. You cannot plan around this flirt anymore.
Yeah. Oh, he didn't. He had a difficult fingerprint on the drink. Failed, unfortunately. Would have been a good way to finish it.
Plan B has fallen through now as well. Plan A was hit the green. Plan B was hit the other green.
No way that's close enough.
It's 89%. Anyway. Oh no, huge trouble.
Seconds. We're now having to rush flirt or rush fingerprint. Nerf goes for the briefcase, but it doesn't get picked up. In fact, it gets picked up. A seduction target comes to us. Worst case scenario, we're trying to burn time here. We're trying to get the flirtation timer to tick down. 9 seconds, and it's still not available for us. Nerf! Oh, we're playing topsy-turvy. Oh, we need to join the conversation. Nerf! I don't think he can do it. He's going to attempt a bug here. He ran out of time as the bug was attempted. And Checker holds his shot, equalizing the series back at 5 apiece.
That was a panic finish if I've ever seen one.
You could still go into that conversation. It's risky, but you still could have made it the turn. You still could have made the turn. It was brutal because as soon as he has to walk away from Windows, you know that when the timer runs out, it's going to be too late for him to go to Windows because the ST is going to leave. At that point, what you should have done is idled in the conversation and see where they ended up. And even after you hadn't done that, there's still time to get that flirt at the end. And he just panics and goes for the bug instead. That was such a winnable game. He had so many plans. A green flirt would have worked. A green fingerprint would have worked. A redirect would have worked. The ST staying put would have worked. Somehow, everything goes wrong in a row. 5 or 6 straight things go wrong.
Anyone who's playing the age-old game of how many game wins will Checker get in a season, I bet none of them were expecting 5 in a single game. Incredible stuff here. A series that is on track for a potential Checker win because we've headed into balcony, the great equalizer of them all. Never
I will
before
mention, I don't
SCL
believe I
history.
put Checker in the bottom of silver.
Oh yeah.
I believed in the beginning that this was his season to be not last.
You're looking very smart, Kletos. You're looking very smart.
Yeah. Humble brag. I like it. Never before, warning track, have I been more excited to cast a game of balcony.
Yeah.
We're actually going to cast this one at normal speed. That's how excited we are.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I was going for half speed. I want to analyze everything now.
Oh, okay. God.
All right.
Do you really want to double the amount of time that you have to spend thinking about every etiquette break? Because I don't know if you can your heart can take it.
I can. I will do
All
it.
right.
Watch me. Ooh, watch me. All right.
Cletos, don't listen to this man. Cletos controls the clock. Thank God.
Checker as Taft looking for a spy win to take match point here. 3, 2, 1, playing it. Balcony, Nerf's map pick of choice. Taft standing very close to the Ambassador. Immediate bug! Straight off the bat! Connects! Sniper's
he got it.
eking over! Ooh, it's highlights. Highlights for potential bug onto both Walt and onto Taft as well. But now all we need is a contact at the right time. And we could have a mission win here from Checker. Waiting.
Waiting. He's right not to do it. I think the highlight is because they're stacked, though, because that just disproportionately seems to affect the spy. I don't think it's for bug suspicion.
9 seconds, 8 seconds, 7, 6, 5, 4,
3. Count with us, everybody.
It's coming through. Checker is on match point here on Balcony with a bug, sniping to win a series here in Silver.
Oh my God, Checker has a point.
That was a very good bug, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, it was. Not bad at all.
I mean, maybe it was just helped, especially by the camera angle. But
okay,
it looks a lot like just the hands.
Yep, it really does. It was so well timed. We saw it with Seek too. I don't know if that's his secret superpower is that he times them with the idols really well because he spent so many hours probably staring at those things. I don't know, but you mentioned the great equalizer, Dowsy. Sort of, but. Historically, this has not been his venue. Last season on New Art Balcony, 29% as Spy. Old Balcony, 30. Last season on Sniper, 38 on the new. 11% on the old as Sniper. He has historically struggled on Balcony, but he's coming through when it counts.
This is the game that matters most. Out of any game that will be played in this season of SEL, Snurf as Seek spying, Checker as sniping, match point in Checker's favor. 3, 2, 1, playing it. Does he return the favor? AI controlling, so he does not. Unfortunately, the AI instantly talks. We double talk, but Seek's double talk is clean, so it doesn't really matter. Takes a drink, flirt, 17%.
Checker wins are so rare. He had 1 win in Season 1, 1 in Season 2, 0 in Season 3, 1 in Season 4, and he is 1 game away from already having 1 in Season 5.
Picking up the briefcase, there is no fingerprint enabled on this variant. It is bug, contact, and seduce. Really just fishing for lowlights. Why would a spy waste time with briefcase? It's risky. So far, the highlights coming through from Checker state that Nerf isn't on the radar. Second flirt, up to 50% here.
And it might
I'm
be
worried.
2 flirts. Yeah, but 50% with a minute left is that's okay. That's not too bad, at least.
You need to green flirt, or else things become a little bit messy. Contact lining up to be good. Starts it off, and it's a green test.
Huge. At this point, against Checker at this time, I think the green test is really, really big.
No,
so close.
On the AI who had just entered conversation, talking during the contact as well. And that is going to be a tie party here, 6-6. Checker and Nerf equalizing on the greatest equalizer of them all.
Yeah, I mean, look, Checker historically has won about a quarter of his balcony games between old and new, so this is something he really struggles with. The sad thing is he was 1 game away from a 33% increase in his all-time match win rate in 1 go. He was so close to his 4th ever SCL win, but he'll take a tie, I think, given how exciting some of those individual games were.
That puts Checker in currently not last, actually.
Not last? Oh my goodness!
Well, it looks like it's only on the count of Baldrick not playing any games.
Well, even excusing that, we have seen. You described Checker's game as feisty earlier, Dowsy. We're seeing some early season feistiness from Checker. Normally, this is how he looks around the end of the season when he's had to play a few matches and loosened up a little bit and become kind of refamiliarized himself with the game and the code and all that. He looks like he's in mid to late season form already. He might sneak a couple out this year.
Yeah, I mean, he warmed up against.
I think he could win a match.
He warmed up against me, right? His first game of the season, and then was this actually his second game of the season? Yeah, it was. Yep, played Nerf second, Screw Loose third. I think has a game scheduled with G-Man in a little bit as well. So
Wow.
I worry for G-Man.
You don't. You
And I
don't
will
want to
say-
be the one without a
Yeah.
chair when the music stops. You don't
Right.
want to be the one to drop a set to Checker, but
Yeah.
it really might happen.
Yeah, and Checker has a pretty impressive amount of games played already this season compared to his previous seasons of doing
Yeah.
all his games at the last minute.
Yeah, good
And
point.
he competed
good point.
in the Taiyan tournament as well.
Yeah.
So, he's been keeping up.
Yeah, and if Aquarium finds its way into the venue pool, no pun intended on pool, you can bet he's going to be picking that child maybe a little bit more than the others, and he might do all right on it.
All right. Anyway, I guess that will be it. That's our last match. A pretty good one to go out on.
Yeah, it's almost like we curate the order of these, or someone does at
Yeah,
least. Yeah,
someone knows what they're doing. Clearly.
someone knows what they're doing.